You ready?
Yeah. All right, where's going?
What?
I was thinking, do we just want to go with awkward silence?
Nah, we'll do something here.
We could start with that music I was talking about earlier and just leave it for Andrew to a fun, pleasant surprise later.
Yeah, if we had some music or something like that.
I'll pull up a YouTube video later. I mean, now that we've told him, he's going to know it, but I think it'll still be funny. Well, so when you read what we're doing to you, Andrew, or hear it, just comment something funny in the group chat or something. We'll go from there.
Oh, man. So, listeners, in case you haven't figured it out yet, we are completely...
He's going to probably cut this before that.
You think so?
I mean, I would hope. If not, it's going to be really funny.
Oh, all right. Oh, man. Now you're dropping everything?
That's my phone.
Did you just break all of our equipment?
I dropped my phone. It's an OtterBox case. It'll be fine.
Okay.
What was I going to do?
I was going to open with telling you a joke.
Oh, well, we can start with that.
How does a dog tell another dog a joke?
I have no idea.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Oh, God.
Dad jokes.
Yeah, I saw a meme thing on Facebook the other day of that. I love those. They're so funny. That was me. Ah, probably then. Yeah. Nice.
Episode 55.
Is it really?
Yeah. All right. So we're actually going to talk about some off-road stuff, or how are we doing this?
We probably should. I mean, that's kind of what we do.
Oh, I guess.
Well, at least what we're supposed to do anyway.
All right. Let's talk about some trucks and stuff.
Yep.
Oh, my God, Sean.
I want him to leave that. Please leave that, Andrew.
It's time to hit the trail, lock in those hubs, and throw it into low range. Because you are listening to Wheelin' with Keith and Johnny Orange, broadcasting from the Thin Line Off-Road Studio. They're here to talk about 4x4s, trucks, and everything to do with enjoying the great outdoors. Buckle up. Here's your hosts, Keith and Johnny Orange.
Okay, so this is the first time we have jumped over a week.
Sort of.
Because technically we should have been recording episode 55 last week.
Yeah.
We already got called out by one of our super fans, Riley Winters.
I'm sorry.
What do you mean I'm sorry?
Super fan. I'm sorry.
You don't like the idea? You don't like that word or what?
I don't know. It just seemed a funny thing to say.
Well, he was like, hey, did I miss something? He sent us a message, or he posted to the Wheelin' page. Did I miss something? Where are you guys? So I had to explain to him, no, the live shows that we did last week were but those were not episode 55.
Special episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for our listeners out there or fans of the show, episode 55 was not what we did last week. Instead, we helped use our equipment to do 2 live stream shows from Foxfire Fixin's restaurant.
Live concerts.
Yeah.
That was a blast.
It really was, wasn't it?
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, both of them. I liked them both.
They were on 2 separate ends of the spectrum.
Yep. I like the loud concert stuff typically a little more. I loved Kenny. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that I didn't by any means, but
yeah,
I like the big, loud, multi-piece stuff. I love the crazy guitar stuff. That was awesome.
Well, yeah, that was... So, Friday night, we had Kenny Lang, the country singer. He does his own original stuff. He also does... he covers some classic country songs. Mm-hmm. Single man band, acoustical guitarist.
Yeah.
What we did is we set up all of our podcasting stuff. We set up our video. Andrew, the producer, and John put a lot of effort into this.
More Andrew than me.
Yeah, far. Andrew put a ton of work into this.
Huge shout out and props to him for making it happen. Without him, this never would have happened.
Absolutely. And then we did a live stream free concert from the Foxfire Fixin's restaurant. Kenny normally plays on Friday, Saturdays anyways there. But since the shutdown, he hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah.
So we brought him in. Of course, we did our social distancing. We had everything all set up for him, and we did a really high-quality live stream. We had a couple of technical glitches with the
we had some
video.
Streaming quality issues in the beginning there, but we were able to fix that, thankfully.
Yeah, about halfway through.
Yeah. Reached the limitations of the wireless internet there.
Yeah, for sure. But then Andrew figured out he had to kind of bring the resolution down or something.
Yeah, it was the setting on the cameras. We were putting out at a certain resolution. The camera was like a step or two above that. So the computer had to down convert it before broadcasting.
Yeah.
So we set that to the same, and it smoothed everything right out nice and even.
Yeah, so that was that worked out pretty neat. And you know what's nice is we did share those concerts, so you can go back and watch those concerts if you'd like.
It's not all music, you know. We were doing every few songs we'd take a break, kind of promote the artist. Foxfire Fixins, of course, who hosted it.
Sure.
And then we got our little plugs in there for us too.
Well, yeah, it really wasn't about us though.
No,
it was just about
them.
bringing something fun, to the community and worldwide. So. What's really cool about what Kenny Lang did is he is very involved in the War Dog Memorial. Mm-hmm. And, he played that song. You got a little tear in your eye there. Yep. He's got his War Dog song. But the War Dog Memorial, let me back up here. Andrew had set up a program through Andrew, the producer, did, through the live stream where people could donate or tip the performers originally, and that's all it was good. We originally did this so the performers who normally work for tips anyways could get some money, but both the performers decided to use their tips for the better good. Mm-hmm. And Kenny donated, I believe, maybe a portion.
He did say all of it.
All of his tips to the War Dog Memorial, which is an awesome cause. In fact, why don't you speak on that? You talked to Kenny more about the War Dog Memorial than I did.
So basically, it's kind of set up like the Vietnam War Memorial, a big granite slab with, with all the names of all the war dogs in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And the whole place isn't just for Vietnam dogs; it's other war dogs. I believe he said the first one started about World War II, and then up to present day, police dogs, therapy dogs, other military dogs are all interred there, and. I don't remember the numbers, but I know it was in excess of 4,200 or 4,300 dogs served in Vietnam. 204 came home.
And even those ones did not get to live a good life after they came home.
Probably not, unfortunately.
He said they were brought home, quarantined, and then unfortunately they were
mostly disposed.
Disposed of.
The unfortunate thing back then, dogs were considered military equipment.
Yeah.
And almost any war, military equipment is left or, unfortunately, in this case, destroyed.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really sad thing to find out about. But this memorial has all those names of all those dogs in their ranks on the on the granite display, which is awesome. Seriously cool. It pays homage to, those other fallen heroes who got zero respect.
It's something I had taken from that too, and he told us about, and I don't know if it was all of the military branches, but at least the one he was telling us about, where the canine units that are in the military outrank their handlers.
Yes, yeah, that was awesome.
Is that all branches of the military?
I believe it is, because I thought I had heard that before, but basically the gist of it is, when a handler's paired with a dog, the dog is assigned one rank higher than the handler. And the reason being, insubordination to an officer, abuse towards an officer is punishable within the military system.
Yeah.
So, not to say it happens, but it probably has in the past, abuse to an animal. Now it's your superior officer.
Well, that's unforgivable in my mind anyways.
Oh, agreed. And I have very, very, very strong opinions on that.
Yeah, no, I think we share them.
We'll leave that alone because I get very angry very fast.
Yeah. That doesn't mean we're anti-hunting, but
no.
There's no reason to ever be abusive.
To an animal. No,
yeah,
absolutely not. To anybody. But animals in particular, completely, we'll just stop right there.
Yeah. So anyway, so Kenny.
Awesome cause.
Yeah, his awesome cause.
Great song,
I believe he raised around, $75. I know it's not a lot, but I mean, it's something.
I don't remember.
Maybe $90. I know a couple of the, which was really awesome, a couple of the waitresses at Foxfire Fixins who are really just employed there right now for deliveries and takeouts and things like that. They were working, doing some deliveries, and they would pop in and kind of watch from the distance the concert while it was going. And a number of them donated $5-10 to the cause, which was really, really cool.
Oh, absolutely. Any of that kind of stuff, every bit helps, which is awesome.
Yeah. So. And so then the next night, so that was Friday night, and then Saturday night.
Ooh, that was a wild night.
Yeah, we brought in the band 86 Noodles, who we've talked about before. I've worn my T-shirt, which you can see a couple episodes ago on the YouTube. Speaking of which, if you are listening to this, there is no video.
You're going to be staring at a picture of us this week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to upload it to YouTube or not.
Probably should.
You think so? Yeah. But there is no video, and that's because Andrew's off. He handles all the video end of things. Yep. And so we're doing an audio-only episode because we do want to bring you an episode this week.
This is back to our roots, the old table, TLO Studios.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of which, I'll talk about that in a minute. And really, I do need to talk about that. So 86 Noodles, Saturday night came in. They are, by their own definition, a rock band, a rock cover band, 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And with a twist. And so they perform their songs, their own version, a lot of times of these songs.
Yeah.
They don't try to completely mimic the voices of the performers.
They add their own twist to it. They make it unique. They make it an experience.
Yeah, really.
Which, it really is. The singer Joe's her first name.
Yeah, it's, so they're actually a married couple, Joe and Dave Matthews.
Yeah, so
they're not the Dave Matthews Band.
No. They'll interact. When there's an audience, they'll interact. She's interacting with the camera.
Yeah.
There was unfortunately a part they got us singing a little bit, and Mr. Andrew, not only did he turn on our mics, I don't know if you knew this, he turned on our mics and the video when she was trying to get us to sing that part.
I saw a portion of it. I think I'm just gonna forget that it exists.
That's why these cups are such a strong mix tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
I was not. I know I was not on point.
It was a ton of fun though.
Oh God, it was a blast.
And then Mikey the drummer. Sorry, I don't know Mikey's last name, but he even came on a couple times.
Mikey Garrison, maybe?
I'm not sure.
That's not. It's a joke. He'll get it if he listens to it.
Mikey,
you ever watch South Park?
It's been a while, but yeah.
There's a character voice he kept impersonating the whole night. That character's last name is Garrison.
Mr. Garrison.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. He was impersonating him?
He was doing Mr. Hand.
Oh, I didn't even realize it. So, anyways, Mikey came in.
I hope he's listening to this.
And he tried to plug and push for their cause a little bit.
Yeah.
On the live stream that we did there. 86 Noodles donated 100% of all of the tips that they received to the Moraine City Fire Department.
Yep.
Which was super, super cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's our local fire department that does serve where Foxfire Fixins is. They serve where I live, which would be the, like I said, the Thin Line Off-Road Studio, this and that. It was just awesome that they did that. And they raised, I think we said on air, it was something like 120 or 125. I
think it was 125, yeah.
But as they were breaking down for the night, same thing, a couple of the waitresses for Foxfire donated a few more dollars, and they were able to bump that up a little bit, I believe. Yeah. I could be wrong there, but yeah, it was pretty nice.
Oh yeah. Again, fantastic job, phenomenal show. Everything went well. Again, we had a couple minor streaming issues, which it's Facebook Live, that happens. Yeah. I watch a lot of different live stuff on Facebook throughout the week. Stream issues happen.
Yeah.
There's some friends, the page I was on last night, there were some streaming issues. It was one guy in Canada, one in Chicago, and one in New Zealand. So there were some issues there.
It happens, like through Zoom or something,
Yeah. So.
Well, tell you what, buddy, I know we really haven't talked truck stuff or anything too much, but I think that it's time for a quick break. And when we come back, we have a little bit of 4x4 news, I think we should talk about some of that stuff. And then we can roll into touch a couple things. This isn't going to be a tech-heavy episode. It's going to be, we're just kind of talking about things that have happened in the last couple of weeks here.
I got a little bit of update on Pegasus, too.
Perfect. Let's talk when we come back.
Sounds good. I got to grab more ice.
Hey, it sounds like it's time to swap out that old engine for something better, John.
Yeah, man, but I have so much into my trans and transfer case set up already. I don't want to change those too.
Sounds like you need to call Quick Draw brand adapters. They specialize in conversion bell housings for nearly all diesel and gasoline engines, including the new 2.8R Cummins.
You know, I like weird engines though. I want something different.
Then you definitely need to visit QuickDrawBrand.com today. They have those hard-to-find parts. They also have used diesel engines available. You can call them at 513-446-9654.
Cool, I'll do that. See what they have. Thanks.
You also... Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we're going.
So you're all set there? Okay, good. 4x4 talk or 4x4 news. 4x4 minutes. I'm using the wrong word today.
4x4 news.
Yeah.
We've never used 4x4 minutes before.
No, it's museum minutes, 4x4 news.
Yes.
Yeah, or off-road news or whatever.
We take 1 week off. You forget all our terminology.
I am
man.
back to my day job. I was called back Monday because of they finally a job came up that's considered to be an essential worker. Because in Michigan here, of course, if you're in other states, you might be fully back to work now as well. But in Michigan, our lovely governor has pushed us to May 28th now, I think, is the stay-at-home order. And granted, most people are not listening to it. They're just done with it. I know I'm done with it.
In case.
Yeah, point in case. I don't even care anymore.
If we were going to get it, we'd have already had it. We're not going to get into the politics.
We did that political episode a while ago.
Yep.
It was fun, but
we're going to stop there for now.
Yeah. So in any case, I'm back to work. I'm operating most nights on about 5.5 hours of sleep. I know that my fiance Stephanie, she can do that all day long, no problem. You can do that? Yeah, I can. I
regularly, my one job, I regularly work 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night.
My brain stops functioning if I get less than 7.5 hours of sleep. 2, yeah. No.
I've learned how to function very well on 3 to 4 hours of sleep on the regular. I get laggy around 2 hours after I've been up for about 12.
Yeah, my ideal is about 9.5. So, no, I'm serious. I mean,
ain't no amount of beauty sleep gonna fix that mug, Keith.
Yeah, well, it's not beauty sleep. It's just my brain. So if I'm confused, but anyways, 4x4 talk. Today's recording date is May 9th, 2020.
Is it?
And I have a little bit of news. We really can't call this the Thin Line Off-Road Studio anymore.
We can't.
Thin Line Off-Road
TLO
is...
Studios has such a nice ring.
No, we're gonna come up with something else. It might be Keith and Johnny Orange, or we'll figure out something else.
Keijo.
Weird. That's weird. Sounds like a Japanese sushi bar.
Yeah.
But
maybe no, not that then.
Thin Line Off-Road officially. I've kind of hinted at it for a while. As of today, I filed the paperwork with the feds and the state of Michigan and everything. I have shut down Thin Line Off-Road.
You done killed it.
I did, and I had my reasons for it. I have had another business in the past. This one, I enjoyed it, but the direction of where I was going with the business, some of the goals changed around. I'm not really interested. I'm working literally 2 different jobs right now for other people that Then it's not. I know I could just let it just kind of exist. But even the cost of, say, running my QuickBooks every year, paying the extra taxes, keeping all the receipts for it, and just the time. And I started kind of doing a time study on it. Even the little bit of stuff I was doing with Thin Line Off-Road, was taking me, an extra 10 hours a week, and it's like 5-10 hours a week, and that.
It adds up.
It does. It adds up. Yeah. I can work somewhere else. I can make better money doing that. And, I enjoyed my days. I enjoyed the idea of Thin Line Off-Road. But I think I probably will go back someday to having some sort of off-road business. It's not going to be tomorrow, but I think that...
tomorrow's Sunday. So
yeah, it would be. It'll be different. But I really feel that... What did you just say?
I made emotion that one went over your
head.
What
went over my head?
I might have it again someday. It says, tomorrow is Sunday, so.
Might have it someday. Oh, my God. Such a bad pun. Such a bad pun. Jesus, John. So anyways.
No, I'm just John.
I'm really feeling that our studio business, potentially getting into the business of being able to rent our equipment to, say, performers, bands, and things that want to come in. The barn out there desperately needs work that I have to break into very soon. It's gonna be. You got the coronavirus?
No. I've spent 2 days standing outside in the cold and the wind.
No, you got the Rona.
Nah, I've been drinking rum. I'm fine.
So.
I've been drinking too much to have Corona, trust me.
As much as I didn't want to budget it right now, and I am limited on time, I do not have a choice. I have to get some sort of roof on that barn by winter.
I believe it.
I mean, have you been out there lately?
Not in a couple months.
It's collapsing. That's how bad it is.
I'd get on that.
I can't get my four-wheeler out right now because one of the beams sagged enough that the door is, yeah.
All right, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to have to cut the four-wheeler out of the barn.
That's awesome.
That's not awesome, no.
What we need to do is you just got to get really, really hammered, get in there, start it, run it, and drive really, 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 really fast. No, you got to have someone outside go, oh, no, like 3 times. And then you just come busting through the wall and they going, oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That's so cheesy. So cheesy.
I love the construction videos where people do that, though. Just bust through the wall.
Man.
You have to tell me. And you have to have done that at least once on one of these demo jobs.
Maybe only 5 or 6 times.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's no videos, unfortunately. We tried to video it once, and it just didn't work out. Like
Bummer.
I think we had it on the wrong camera angle or something.
We had recorded the guy recording it the whole time.
Yes. Yeah. No, I was the one jumping through the wall, but
nice.
Yeah.
No, I'm really disappointed. I would wanted to see that.
Yeah, we'll do it eventually.
I like it.
But getting back on track a little bit, I don't have much 4x4 talk except Project Excursion. I have figured out that what I thought was an injector issue is not an injector issue.
Oh.
Went and checked my oil the other day. 2.5 gallons low.
Because that has to do with injectors.
It does. Oil-fired injectors on that thing.
Oh, now make me look like the idiot.
Yeah.
Got it.
7.3 diesel. So
I don't know
the
those.
high-pressure oil pump does not work effectively if it does not get enough oil to it.
That would make sense.
And so that's my test now. But it's leaking oil profusely from somewhere near the top of the engine. I talked to a local diesel performance shop the other day, and I said, "Hey, I do not have the time to rip into this thing. I'm back to work. I'm working a second job. We're doing this, the podcast. It takes time. All this takes time." And I said, he says, well, it's either blah, 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 blah. It's all on the top of the engine. He kind of gave me a ballpark, but, I said, well, I'm going to keep driving for right now, and it's leaking oil like a sieve, but.
Does it leak as bad as mine or worse? Sounds like it's leaking worse than mine.
2 to 3 gallons between oil changes? Gallons, not quarts.
It's probably close.
Is it really?
Well, you probably change your oil more frequently than me, so.
I'm pretty faithful at about 5,000 miles on the 7.3.
I go about 6 on mine, what I remember. I'm probably a little overdue right now. I really should probably do that, actually.
Yeah, so that's my indicator. I've noticed that when it's about 1.5 gallons low is when it starts to do that weird, like, kind of misfire thing. And until it warms up. So now I know that when it starts to do that, it needs oil. So I don't necessarily have to check the oil daily.
That's awesome.
So it tells me. I mean, it holds 4 gallons.
Jeez.
It's a 4-gallon oil change. But
nice.
Speaking of oil changes and things like that, talk some car stuff at least here. I'm working down at the restaurant, the Foxfire restaurant, doing some construction for them here. Last week before.
Foxfire Fixins, Marine City, Michigan.
Yeah, Foxfire Fixins. Eventually, we just need to do an ad for them or something. But
we should absolutely.
I'm down there working.
I'm mixing this on air. I
don't care, whatever. So I'm down there working, and my brother comes out, the one that runs the restaurant, and he says, hey, waitress so-and-so, her car's not running very good. Could you take it on a delivery and see what's going on? And she drives a Cadillac station wagon, one of those STXs or SE. I don't even know. It's a Cadillac station wagon.
STX, not an SEX.
No, it's not an SEX, no. And it's definitely not an SEXY car either. It's missing a headlight. It's got a smashed-in fender. The windshield, I'm pretty sure she's mowed through a couple of crowds of people with. And
so it's a Mustang.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I take this thing.
I gotta add Coke to that. That's too much.
I take this thing for a drive for like 20 miles, and I'm like, man. And I get back, and I said to her, I said, that car sounds like it needs some oil. I said it also needs wheel bearings and an alignment and a tires. And I just started listing off all this. It's a completely ragged out car. She said, well, I put oil in it 4 days ago. And I'm like, well, okay. I said, well, maybe it's not. I said, just you got there's some knocking and stuff going on. And every light on the dashboard's on. So
just tell her to put some 1540 in it and it'll be fine.
Well, so my brother goes out there and checks her oil in the thing, and there's nothing. So
she needs longer dipsticks, what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. There is no oil in it whatsoever. And so she calls her mom, and her mom's the one that gave her the car. And her mom's like, she's like, hey, can you bring me down some oil? And her mom's like, well, maybe in a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, why do you need it? And she's like, well, my car's out of oil again, And she's like, well, I told you got to put oil in it every day. And she's like, what do you mean no, that's not normal. You don't put oil in a car every day.
Generally, no. That's.
And she gets in this huge argument with her mom.
I was weekly with my Buick.
She gets in an argument with her mom over the phone, and she's like, that's not normal. She goes, you don't even put gas in your car every day.
No. Unless you drive a lot. No.
She's like, you don't have to. I'm laughing out there. And so her poor Cadillac, yeah.
Nice.
But anyways, you said you got some 4x4 news or something?
Yeah, a little
buddy?
bit. No, I'll show you a couple pictures here.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to wait until these are done to have the full picture. So you remember seeing the Fox shocks? That's just one of them.
I saw that online. Yeah. Is there a brush in that? Did you brush paint those?
That's aircraft stripper. I removed the blue.
How do they strip on aircrafts now? They got to wear the mask and gloves and everything.
Yeah.
That's only in first class, though, right?
I don't know. They put a pole up in the middle and it just happens. I've never been in first class. No, so it's aircraft remover. It's an extremely caustic paint stripper. So let me see that and I'll show you the after picture.
Yeah. So those people, like when you see on Facebook and it's like they live in crazy places and they live like an airplane in the woods, they just park there. Is that how you get rid of the old airplane?
I guess.
Pour the aircraft remover on.
So, excuse me. I haven't wire wheeled them yet, but I got rid of all that nasty blue.
What are those, off a Raptor or something?
No, they were actually from a Chevy. So it was from a Chevy lift kit running dual front shocks, rear Fox, remote reservoirs. So
why is there 6 of them in that picture?
Because I bought 6 of them. I'm rebuilding the 4 and selling the other 2.
You're not doing the 1987 thing of putting multiple shocks per wheel, are you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, there's you can't tell which ones are.
Are you actually rebuilding them or just repainting them?
I'm not repainting. I'm clear coating them once I polish them up.
Okay.
I have seal kits, new oil, new bushings, top and bottom for them. I pressed the old bearings out.
All right.
The 2 I'm selling are there were 2 bad bearings. I took 2 of the good bearings from the other ones that are going in there.
Okay.
And then those are going to be for sale.
Huh.
But yeah, they're Fox remote reservoirs. I picked them all up for $160. I've got, call it $220 into all the parts to rebuild it, new bushings. It's about $1,500 worth of shocks right there. Retail on those is $250 a piece.
So you're selling 2 of them?
I'm going to sell 2 of them, yeah.
What are you going to be getting on 2 of them?
I'm going to probably list them at like $200 for the pair. Probably a little higher.
The specs is like what the max compression and length is and everything on them?
Not off the top of my head. But I have those. I mean, I can get them. They're right there at home.
Well, I just don't know if they'd work for the Brat Pack build or anything like that.
I can get you the numbers.
Yeah,
they're the racing shocks, the 1/2-inch shocks. If you want the bearings, though, I can get the other or if you want to use bushings, I can take the other 2 out.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Speaking of Brat Pack, I was under the hood of it today. Not doing any work. I was showing our new treasure, Dan Blair, for the museum. And I guess kind of rolling into museum minutes there, unless you got anything else for 4x4 talk.
I had a little bit update on Pegasus.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got the fuel filters replaced. But let me show you that picture.
Does it run now?
It always did. It just didn't run well.
Does it run well now?
I mean, it does, yeah. So let me go. That's close up. I ripped the old one apart. The one that's solid black there, yeah.
What the heck is that in there?
That's a fuel filter, my friend.
No, what's the round thing in there?
It's a cartridge filter.
No, this.
That's the that's the bottom cap.
Oh, it's just like jammed up inside of it?
Well, no, I ripped the material off. I just destroyed the filter to get inside of it. The one on the left of that picture is a new one.
Those are like one of those, like, it was like a grommet stuck in it or something.
No, let me see it. I can.
No, I
got another picture.
My eyeballs are not that bad. I can see what I'm looking at.
You can see all the other pieces of it there.
Okay, that makes more sense in that picture, the way that looks, but...
So I just ripped it apart to see what it looked like. I mean, it was black like oil coming off of that.
Oh, yeah, but
So
they'll run on oil.
Well, not when they're plugged up, though. That's a filter.
Was that the whole issue?
Don't know. So I took it on the same test drive I did last time. Mm-hmm. I made it to, where it stalled out the first time and back, no problem.
Yeah.
So I drove it further down the road. 25 minutes into it, I thought it may have done it again, but it was an extremely windy day. And if I get a solid headwind, I'll get a little bit of a power reduction going up a hill.
Okay.
It did what it usually does in the conditions I was under.
Okay.
So I continued driving it. I went back the other way, past home, going to another destination. And I got up over 60, and it did do its low power thing again. It stalled out. I mean, it didn't really stall out. It just died. But I let off the clutch, fired right back up. I just ran it about a minute, turned around, headed home, kept it under 60, and had no issues the rest of the drive. So all I did, I did both filters, filled them with seafoam, cranked the living hell out of it till it finally started, ran it half an hour, let it cool, test drove it.
Okay.
I did put 5 gallons of fresh diesel in there. I pumped some out per your suggestion. I pumped some fuel out into a container, let it sit overnight. It looks perfectly fine.
So there's no water contamination or anything like that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, nothing separated from the fuel that came out of the tank. That was in that container. The secondary or the primary filter. So under that in that picture, there's a spring, and that was full of some kind of gunky gel stuff. I've seen that once before in there. The first time I changed the filters, I don't know if that's normal.
What color was it?
Clear. Actually,
I don't know what that would be. I do know that you can get a bacterial growth in diesel.
It's algae.
Or algae, yeah.
Yeah, that's not algae.
No.
I don't know if that's the gel from the water and it just separated into that.
That does look like a water contamination to me.
Yeah. The secondary filter. So I dumped that into just a water bottle container that was dry. There is definitely a little bit of water in the bottom of that and like the same looking gelatin stuff.
Okay.
Those both been sitting in the garage for a couple days now. I haven't looked at them today, but it runs great.
You throw some diesel anti-gel or something in it.
Well, I treated the fuel in it, 10 gallons. I treated that with diesel 911. And then, like I said, when I changed the filters out, I put a whole can of seafoam between the two filters.
Okay.
And then 5 gallons of fresh diesel. So it's well treated. It's probably a little over treated.
Okay.
So like I was talking to my dad, he's thinking I might just need to just run it for a while.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it is. Like when I drove down to Florida with Project Excursion, I had a bad tank of fuel, and it took me like 3 tanks before it got right.
And that's what I'm thinking. Run this down to a quarter tank, fill it up, do that twice. The only downside, like I said, maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe it was just the one time. What I was doing between 60, 65 on M19 there, that's when it did it. So my next test drive is going to be keep it below 60, see if it does it. If not, then I'm just going to run it down to a quarter tank, fill it up, run it down to a quarter tank, and then I'll try it again over that.
For those of you who are kind of confused, or maybe you haven't listened to all of our old episodes, Project Pegasus is John's TJ Jeep.
Yeah.
Yes, is a diesel. He has swapped in a Mercedes OM617 5-cylinder turbo diesel out of a 1980s car.
Yep.
And so, he's
trials and tribulations.
Yeah, he's had a lot of trials and tribulations over the years, getting that thing kind of dialed in, tuned in.
The number one and number two things I've learned on this. One, do not, under any desperate circumstances whatsoever, throw an old can of diesel in there. Makes for a bad day.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not a. I mean, it's got a Bosch injection pump on it.
Yeah, but it plugged the filters up.
Well, I mean, yeah, I used to run everything in my old Cummins and all that, but,
Yeah, that's a Cummins, though. This is a Mercedes engine. It's that finer high class of whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's running. It runs phenomenally well. So whatever that seafoam cleared up in that injection pump did well.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's just needing to run this out and get rid of it.
Cool.
My can of fuel that I keep a spare in the garage of, I usually use that up and replace it at least every 6 months.
That's a good idea.
So yeah, and I treat it when it goes in the can unless I'm going to put it right in the tank. So yeah, it needs to be done again. I don't know. I hope this takes care of it, and then I got to get these shocks done now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so bad. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sagged my springs out.
Gotcha.
Like, I should probably really replace them. It's bad. But, hey, you live and learn. Yeah. That's what this whole thing's about.
It is. I mean, that's the hobby. You're always tinkering and you're just figuring things out as you go along.
Yeah.
Speaking of figuring out things as you go along, museum minutes a little bit. We're obviously still closed to the public.
Speaking of minutes, do we want to hang on this now and then go to a little commercial? Or?
Let me just do that, and then we'll actually talk about a little bit more of our 55 ideas that we had.
Sounds good. We'll do that after the commercial.
Yeah, we'll do that after the commercials. Yeah. But
so museum minutes with Keith.
Yeah, the museum's still closed. I do go over there at least a couple times a week and make sure
everything dusted off.
Make sure everything looks good. Yep, cool. We everything's in good shape.
Sweet.
But our new treasurer, Dan Blair, he is working on getting everything set up with some of the QuickBooks. We were we were texting back and forth this morning, getting some of that set up. He unfortunately, to get them onto some of the business accounts through the banks and things, we actually have to get several of our board members at the bank at the exact same time.
Oh.
With the shutdowns.
The signatories?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
With the all the shutdowns right now, it's a little difficult to do that.
Yeah.
We'll get it done soon. But that's about it, really. We are, something, if you're an avid listener of Wheelin' and you maybe are a fan of the Museum of Off-Road Adventure, I would implore you there to go to our website, themora.org. We don't have much on there right now, but we are, for lack of better terms, hurting right now because we don't get any donations coming in because people are not coming in the door. So, if you think that you can donate $5, $10, something like that, a couple bucks through PayPal to the Mora.
It's going to help. We still have operating costs.
Yeah, we still have operating costs every year. And we really want to avoid trying to get into any of those loans that are kind of loans, kind of not, because all that stuff there is just too risky in our opinion.
Yeah.
But we're based off donations. If you can donate to the museum, it's a great thing.
And if you have anything you'd like to display, we're going to be definitely having some spaces opening up soon. I know Mr. Henry is going to be needing that sandrail back pretty quick.
I know,
here.
yeah. We've had probably 4 different people have tagged us in the General Patton's command car thing.
Nice.
I don't know if you've seen that.
I have not.
General Patton from World War II, his command car, which was a Dodge, I forgot what series, it's open top. Mm-hmm. It's the predecessor to the Power Wagon.
Nice.
His actual vehicle is coming up for auction here soon.
Cool.
And people are like, Museum of Off-Road Adventure, you need this. I was like,
that would be awesome.
So the response back has been, if you'd like to buy it and donate it to us, we would love it. We'd take it.
That'd be awesome.
Great tax write-off for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
any big corporation that would like to become involved with us.
Yeah, I mean, go bid that baby, $200,000 up, and because I think that's kind of what people are thinking is it's going to be in the 3, 4, maybe $500,000.
I can see it. I can see it.
It's an important part of World War II history.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
For sure. So with that, we should probably take a break here. We've been running a little long tonight.
That's fine.
First episode back, so
yes.
So all right, well, sounds good. We'll see you in a minute then.
Ah, spring. It means so many things. Birds, flowers, warmer temperatures, and let's not forget, bugs! Don't let pesky bugs take over your home. Call ABC Home and Commercial Services. They have the solution for your spiders, wasps, box elder bugs, Asian lady beetles, cluster flies, and more. ABC Home and Commercial Services, the best in pests. Call 810-794-5678.
We're not leading with that.
I wasn't recording when I said that.
Good.
Don't worry.
We're not leading with that. Pardon me.
After show, maybe.
Yeah. Episode 55. This
we had great plans at one point.
We
this
did
morning
because, playing on our numbers, a lot of times we do that. 55 was several things. So here's some honorable mentions for you gearheads out there. 1955 was the first year that the small block Chevrolet V8 came out. And it originally came out
a year before my mom was born.
It originally came out. Oh, wow. I thought she was born in 1917.
No, she's not. Facebook. I forgot about that.
The original was a 265 V8. Became an immediate success. It was available in Chevrolet cars and trucks.
265 is in 265 cubic inch?
Correct.
That tiny little thing. Well,
It stayed
back then that was...
It stayed the same for 56. 1957, they came out with the 283, which was 200. Which, if you got the Rochester fuel injection, which was the first year for fuel injection for a Chevy, you could get the 283 horsepower.
Ooh.
And so that was a huge momentous moment in automotive history because many engineers believed prior to that it was physically impossible to produce more than 1 horsepower per cubic inch.
Huh.
And the 57 283, that's actually what they called it, was the 283/283, 283 cubic inches, 283 horsepower.
Makes sense.
On paper, though, not on paper, on the dyno, they actually produced about 295 horsepower. So they were the first engine, mass-produced at least, to break that. So the small block Chevy was a revolutionary engine.
Quite literally, it revolves.
Yeah, well, it does revolve.
I'm sorry.
Speaking, we don't need to go way into that. And that was kind of our original idea, was to kind of go into the whole history and development. Maybe we'll do that eventually. Yeah. We'll do more of that. There was a bunch of technological advancements with that, the green sand casting process, the lost sand. Basically, prior to that, when they would cast an engine, it was expensive because the casting sand would all be lost. The green sand was reusable. There's bunch of technological advancements.
I love watching videos of sand casting stuff. That's just so cool.
Tying in the museum a little bit, I'd like to throw this out there. If anybody is in possession of a 56 or 57 Chevrolet V8 engine, we need one for the NAPCO.
Let's say we have one.
We do not.
Yeah, we do.
What do we have?
It's a 56 Chevy engine.
So no, it is not. We have the 56 NAPCO at the museum, the first vehicle that we ever obtained, but it does not have the correct engine in it. It has a 61 Chevrolet Impala engine in it.
My bad.
When we check the numbers on it, and in 55, so when I say 56 or 57, the reason there is in 55, the very first year that the Chevrolet V8 came out, it did not have an oil filter in the block. So the 55 is the only year that was like that. It was optional. The remote oil filter was optional. So you did not. So if you had the oil filter, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but I want to say that if you had the remote oil filter, they recommended oil changes like 2,500, 3,000 miles and all that. If you didn't go for that option, they recommended a 1,500 mile oil change.
Sounds about right.
In that neighborhood, basically, is what it was. So they immediately decided they needed to put the oil filter in the block, and in 56 they did that. Call. So a 55 block looks different from underneath than 56. 56 and 57 look externally the same. The heads, the block, everything, even if it's a 283, which came out in 57, unless you check numbers on them, they look the same on the outside of the heads and blocks.
Total side tracking here. Didn't I send you pictures of a 56 truck from a scrapyard I was in?
No,
once?
you said you were going to. You never did.
Oh, they won't be on this phone, but I still have those, and the yard's probably still got it. We'll talk later on that.
When they went to 58, the engine still pretty much physically looked the same. But 58 was the first year with the Chevy V8 where you could get the side motor mounts. Prior to that, the motor mounts were mounted in the front and the rear of the engine. So they were mounted on the very...
Interesting.
Yeah, next to the timing cover and then on the bell housing. 58, they went to the side motor mount design. So if you look underneath, once again, it's an underneath thing. 55 through 57 engine is smooth on the sides and does not have a provision for motor mounts.
Nice.
58 does. So our 56 Napco does not have the original engine, and the engine that's in it is extremely tired. It runs, but very badly.
Yeah.
So we would like to put the correct era engine, at least something that looks, ideally, if somebody's got a 56 265 truck engine, perfect. But any 56 or 57 engine is going to look correct.
Nice.
One of the reasons I knew immediately when we acquired that truck that it did not have the original engine in it is because the valve covers are wrong. And the reason is 55 through 59, the valve cover bolts are staggered. And then in 1960, they made the valve covers straight across from each other. And so we have a 61 engine. So I knew right away we had a 60 or newer engine in there. And
So we got a nice boat anchor.
yeah, basically. Somebody out there, and in fact, I tell you what, I was just going to say the same thing. If you've got a rebuildable 56 265 V8, and for some reason you want to go to a 61 283, we will trade you.
Oh, yeah.
The engine runs, it just doesn't have any compression
And between
on like
the two
most
of
of
us,
the
we could
cylinders.
probably facilitate a pickup even.
Yeah, we can figure something out.
Yeah.
So the museum is in need of a 56 or 57 Chevy V8 engine. Any of those will look right in the truck.
Did we ever determine if the trans was salvageable on that? I don't remember.
We haven't. We'll have to take it out and take it to a trans shop. It's pretty.
It's a manual, right?
It's a ball of rust. It's an SM420, but the date codes are correct. So even if they gut it and use the case and the top cover,
So that's a gear driven. I might be able to do that.
yeah, you might be able to.
Yeah.
You might be able to.
I mean, we've seen what happened when I do transmissions before, so maybe we don't want me to do it.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I know more now, though.
The other 55 thing that, playing on numbers, we mentioned we could talk about the 55 FJ55 Iron Pig Land Cruiser. Maybe we would, or we could have done it. Maybe we'll talk about it more in the future. We've got one in the museum. It's a cool vehicle.
That is a neat little thing.
The one that we have there has got kind of an interesting history. It was used as a test bed for some diesel engines and things like that. But, we don't really have a big thing for episode 55 that we're going to do here.
No, I mean, part of that's our fault, but
and I guess not doing the FJ55 is kind of also because we do have a tentative plan for episode 62 to do. That was on a suggestion, and I don't remember who it was now, but we had said on air, I want to say 10 or 15 episodes ago, about how we were kind of battling between doing either the Dana 60 or the FJ60 Land Cruiser, which are both iconic parts of the off-road world.
We should set a vote up on 4x4 Talk for it.
Well, but see, the guy, I don't remember who it was. One of our listeners messaged us and said, do the Dana 60 for episode 60, and then for episode 62, do the 60 series, because the FJ60 had the 60 and the 62 in it.
Oh.
The 62 in the FJ60s was the square headlight. It was kind of like the YJ of the CJ platform.
The undesirable little brother.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. They were only automatics.
God.
In the U.S. Yeah, exactly. The FJ60s were all
of a cat with a hairball there.
The FJ60s were all manual.
Okay.
And then the 62s were all automatic. There are some
horrifying.
There are some and I know someone's going to yell at me. Yes, in other countries the 62 is available with a manual.
Yeah.
In the U.S., on paper, it was only available with an automatic. There are documented cases of a dealership in Washington importing a very small number of manual transmission 62s to the U.S. legally back in the 80s. But anything that's come in since, or any other manual transmission 62s since then have either been swapped or have come in from another country.
Yeah.
The majority of them from Canada, because you look at them, they're in kilometers. And so, yeah,
That's not too bad, eh?
No, but... Exactly. So we were talking
Somebody
about
got that.
They did, yeah. Episode 62, we'll do the the 60 series. Episode 60, we'll probably do the Dana 60.
Sounds good.
I don't know what to do for 61. I mean,
Oh, no, yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. So I got again, it's a little bit of a side note here. So I came clean and admitted what I did on the, I think it was the 86 Noodles broadcast. So I did two things that I told all of you fine listeners out there I would never do. I ordered a new vehicle.
Oh.
No. You know this. You're going to keep ripping on me until the day this happens.
Uh-huh.
I ordered a new vehicle. Well, pre-ordered. You
should be driving a Kia.
No. No, I don't roll that way. I'm sorry.
All right.
And I'm going to call it, it's going to be an automatic transmission, but in all fairness, I don't think there's no other options in that style of vehicle.
I don't think it has a transmission.
That's the other thing. I kind of on the fence on if I'm, a hypocrite for ordering it because of that, or if I'm okay because it doesn't actually have a transmission. I don't know. But if you've been listening to us a long time, we covered a whole episode on this thing when it was announced.
Oh, yeah.
And
I don't remember what episode it was.
It was one of the early ones. It was within the first 10.
Really?
I want to say it was like 5 or something.
Wow, that'd be early.
Yeah.
We probably sound like idiots.
Yeah,
Not that we don't now, but...
I mean, you're not wrong. So, I come clean and admit to all of you listening today, I pre-ordered the Tesla Cybertruck.
You're going to make our listener very proud.
Yeah, but to further disappoint that individual, they're not even going to. The one I ordered the tri-motor option, of course. I want the bigger one. And
yeah,
I got a bigger number of towing capacity than you do, my friend. You got 11,000 pounds in your Excursion.
Yeah.
I got 14,000, my friend.
Yeah.
But they're not even going to start building this thing until late 2021. I was really, really late to the game on the pre-order. So I figure it's going to be 3 to 4, if not 5 years until I actually see this thing.
And you might have the delay with the announcement that Elon Musk made today. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't know.
He basically threatened the state of California that if they do not lift their bans and their stay-at-home orders and all that, then he's going to pull out of California. He's going to move
to Michigan.
He's going to move his plant somewhere.
Actually, he's not going to want to come to Michigan with that. No, never mind.
He needs to go to a red state. But basically he says, and maybe it was fake news. I don't think it was, though. I didn't read the whole article. But apparently, I got the gist from the first little bit that I read that he said, this is ridiculous. You're killing businesses.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to leave California if you don't start operating, with some sense.
Deal. He is a big deal.
Well, we did that this day in off-road history the other day. I didn't realize the Tesla plant is the former Toyota Tacoma plant.
I didn't know. Now I don't know if I want it because it was built in the Toyota plant.
What is Toyota Tacoma's a U.S. built vehicle?
I know. I'm kidding. All
right. So anyway, you ordered this Cybertruck.
This assumes, as we discussed, there's a lot about it. It doesn't meet the federal motor vehicle safety standards.
You still need the self-driving option.
No.
Yes.
It's a $7,000 upgrade. No. I don't want it.
Do you know one drunk driving ticket costs you $10,000?
So I'd say $3,000. Wow, that'd be the first time. So
what's what I'm saying? If you get one drunk driving ticket, they say it averages about $10,000. So if you get the self-driving option, you wander out to your truck and you're like, "Hey,
take me home.
Hey, Tesla, take me home." I'm telling you. Is that legal? I'm not sure. Is it legal?
I have no idea.
Are you allowed to drunk ride in a Tesla?
Huh. I don't know.
It self-drives? I mean, why?
I wonder if there's a support address I could email on this.
I'm sure there is.
No, I'm not going to do that. The idea, it's got a hefty price tag. It gives me a few years to figure it out. But I can assure all of you listening that the day I get this, so first day or two is going to be fun. The second day, I'm going to take a hammer to the side in a couple spots, and I'm going to scratch it. And then the next day, I'm going to take it off-road and beat the living hell out of it.
You might not be able to.
You want to bet?
All right.
I have sledgehammers. I'll bend it. But that I learned that from a customer at a place I used to work. This guy bought a brand new truck, like $70,000, $80,000 King Ranch Edition Ford, whatever.
Yeah.
Brought it to the shop, asked the technician for a hammer and a screwdriver. Guy's like, well, okay. Just gave it to him. The guy, he signed all his paperwork, walked out to the truck, hadn't even driven it at this point. Took the hammer, beat 3 or 4 dents into the side, scratched it in 3 or 4 places. As everybody there is like watching, like, what the hell are you doing? He says, well, you see, now I'm going to drive it like it's my truck, and I'm not going to care.
I used to work with a guy that did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So don't get me wrong. First day or two, I want it pristine. I'm going to spend that kind of money. I want to enjoy at least a day or two of it. And then it's time to break it in and welcome it to Michigan.
Well, yeah, there you go. I have pretty much vowed. I've drank the Dave Ramsey Kool-Aid big time. I'm never getting a loan for anything. I'm going to pay cash for everything.
Oh, I'm going to definitely have to finance this thing.
But
maybe I'll start a GoFundMe.
I think probably the first time I have been as tempted is only in a what-if situation. Mm-hmm. Last week, Ford announced, as you and I have talked, Ford announced that they have renewed their trademark on the Excursion name.
Forgot we were talking about
now,
that.
Of course, a bunch of people in the Excursion world are like, oh my God, the Excursion's coming back. It's been rumored for years. Other people are saying, no, they just don't want to lose that trademark in case they want to use it. But apparently a number of industry insiders have said, no, we have one in the works. It's going to be another F-250 based, just like the original Excursion was. SUV sales are on the rise. And so, me being a big Excursion fan, being a Ford truck fan, if they do this right.
Yeah.
Now, if they screw this up and I get some independent suspension V6 turbo thing, no.
I say that as I just admitted to what I did.
Yeah, I know. But if
That's different.
If they make the new Super Duties are aluminum bodied, which I think is awesome. And they've got the 6.7 diesel, and you get the Tremor package, which gets you front and rear lockers and a winch.
Yeah.
So if they make an Excursion, solid axle Excursion with a diesel, and you put the Tremor package on that thing, it's going to be pretty tempting for me not to buy one.
We got to take these both off-roading when we get them.
Oh, I tell you what. I mean,
can we do a tug of war?
Oh, I tell you what.
Apparently, there's a video of that Cybertruck doing that with an F-150, and it won.
Yeah, 150.
Yeah.
250 is a little different or whatever. But
I mean, I'll still do it. Even if I know I'll lose, I'll still do it.
I'm telling you, man. But
I love it. I don't care what anyone says. I love it.
I do. I like this. I like it. Are you going to get review mirrors or no?
No, I don't know. I don't know if it's an option or not. But I'll say this. Apparently, do you remember in the release video they had like a quad that went with it? It was like a custom quad
I didn't know that
option.
it went with it, but...
Not with it, but it was like part of the display, part of the release. Yeah, apparently they're going to make that available too.
Is it electric?
I think so.
You don't get that.
I might.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
And if you look on the website, I don't remember the actual address, but they have like this full badass looking camping package with it. Mm-hmm. That is an absolute yes, I'm getting that. If that's an option, I'm getting it.
Well, yeah, they already said that it was going to have an onboard air compressor.
Yep.
And
there's 110 and 220 ports in this thing, so you can run your welder on the trail. Dude,
yes.
I'm going to bring my Synchro-Wave TIG welder.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I'm going to beat the crap out of this thing. I'm going to use and abuse this thing. It's going to go off-roading. It's going to weld. It's going to charge stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I might use it just for the hell of it to say I've done it to power a house when the power's out.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious. I'm gonna put this thing through its paces.
Not that I ever have, but if I ever bought a brand new vehicle, not only would I use it, but it would be one of those vehicles where I would be proud to never get rid of it, and I don't have for 30, 40, 50 years.
Absolutely.
That would be me. I'd be one of those guys.
I talked to a friend of mine. He pre-ordered it was the Model 3. Pre-ordered it 2 weeks after it was announced. Took him 2 years to get that thing.
That's dedication, man.
He's had it now a little over 2 years, I think it is.
Okay.
And, you know, I talked to him almost a half hour before I made the decision to go ahead with his pre-order. And, I mean, so the pre-order is $100. I can live with that for now.
Yeah.
And it's completely, fully, totally refundable at any time to like right now until the day it comes in. I could say I don't want it, I get my money back. Regardless, my biggest concern was about the charging stations and the battery life.
Yeah.
He's had his a little over 2 years. When he got it, I believe he said he had about a 310-mile range on his. After 2 years of use, he's down to 305.
Well,
I can live with that.
No, and they're going to get better and better and better.
And that's different. You know, that's a car. He's a lot of city driving. Off-road, obviously, that's going to change.
I thought they said with the Cybertruck they were aiming for like 550 or something.
The advertised is 500 plus.
Okay, yeah.
So for the tri-motor option, the one that I got, it's 500 miles plus range.
Yeah, I mean, that's respectable.
Absolutely. I mean, that's more than what I'm driving now on a range.
Yeah,
I get about a 300-mile range on my fuel tank. Yeah, and you can charge it 110 or 220, which is awesome. I mean, home charging, you can go to all these. You know, there's not many around us, but there are some charging stations. I mean, there's a cost with most of them. Some of them are free, which I didn't know.
You know, and as a disclaimer to our listeners here, you know, I don't think that John. I'm not that we don't like the environment. Not that we like the idea of an electric vehicle just because it's cheap to operate.
Yeah.
You know, we have no, before you go and try to correct us on 4x4 talk or anything like that, we have no misconceptions that this is much better for the environment.
Oh, no.
We fully realize that they're probably just as bad for the environment.
It is an offset of the carbon emissions because it's the power plant instead of gas.
Until we go fully nuclear.
Or more solar. Same difference.
I've been listening.
Yeah, there's the recycling thing, but if it's properly recycled, it's a minimal footprint.
Yeah, no, I've been listening. The solar thing we're decades, if not centuries, out from solar being viable. Yeah, being viable.
Nuclear wind turbines or water power.
Bring nuclear, man.
It'd be easy enough to build a reactor in your backyard.
I'm just saying,
government agencies don't like that.
No, they don't. Yeah, I have a whole story
I didn't
about that.
actually say that. I was kidding. I was not serious. I would never actually do that.
Yeah, if anyone from the NSA is listening.
Oh, they are. I am sure I'm on a list already. Not because of that, but other stuff.
Nuclear Safety Administration. It's NSA,
National Safety Administration.
NRC, Nuclear Regulatory Commission. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
I ain't building no nukes in my backyard. Don't worry. I ain't got the skill set.
You have heard the story about the kid that did that, right?
There's a couple of them.
Oh, I know.
I was on an episode of Big Bang Theory, I think, too. Didn't Sheldon build one in the basement?
I don't know, but in real life, somebody did do.
Yeah, a few times. Happened. Yeah. Some kid built a clock in a suitcase or a briefcase. Brought it to school. Dumbass.
Anyways. So here you go. Here was one of our freestyle episodes. We have been all over the board. We've John handled the board tonight.
Yeah. I forgot. We're not supervised tonight. We can do whatever we want.
This is unsupervised part 3, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
2 or 3, I think is the third time.
Well, I like it, but I miss Andrew.
I do. I miss Andrew as well, and
we don't have him laughing and flipping us off.
I do like that he's starting to kind of shout things out in the background.
Oh yeah,
and I think
we heard him talking in the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was awesome. We need to hear more of that, Andrew.
And that was.
All right, here I'll say this.
That was an inspiration from Jason the Jew from the
Dave and Chuck the Freak
show, where he kind of does that and he kind of yells off in the background.
I'll say this for all of you guys listening. I'm going to put Andrew on the spot a little bit here. Go on our 4x4 Talk page or Wheelin and just say how much you enjoyed hearing him talk and interact with you guys.
Please do.
Please. We want more of this.
Now that you know he's a real person.
Yeah, he does exist. We're not hallucinating.
He does have a Facebook page. You two have your personal, or not your personal, but your public. You've got Johnny Orange, public figure, and Andrew the producer, public figure. Keith Caudette does not have a public figure page.
I said we didn't do that. Call it Crackhead Keith or something.
Oh, Jesus.
Or what was the one? We discussed that at one point when we started this, a name for you. It was some old nickname that you had, started with a K.
Oh, my God.
Admit it. It's in an episode somewhere.
I
sure.
know where you're going with it.
Yeah, but what is it?
Okay.
Bring it up now that we have more people listening. Let's see what they think about that for you.
It's such a stupid name. It's not even a real name.
Just say it.
You got to get the backstory for this. When I was in high school, for I don't know, sophomore or senior year, something like that, whatever, junior, senior year, I had a project where we were doing this like travel thing through social studies, and we had to represent a state. And we actually had this night where we were essentially doing, I don't know what you'd call it, like a fair, like almost like a travel advertising fair thing. And it was a cool project put on one of our teachers. And so we were there, and we randomly drew states out of a hat. And my partner and I, we drew Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So part of the project was we were supposed to contact like the main travel agency, or not travel agents, but the travel bureaus or whatever for those states, and ask for information, brochures, whatever they had. So I had written down Louisiana, and I said, I wrote a nice letter. I was actually the one that did that because of the two of us, my partner and I was the one that was
good spell.
Yeah, more literate, I guess. And so I had sent this nice letter, and I said, hey, this is the project we're doing, and anything you can send to be great, blah, 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 all this and that. I don't remember what the letter said specifically. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago plus now. And so I sent it out. Mm-hmm. Didn't receive a thing. Didn't get anything prior to the event. So we just basically researched the heck out of Louisiana. Mm-hmm. And we eventually came up with this kind of roadside barbecue thing. And we built out of old barnwood a stand. And we both worked at Little Caesars at the time. And we got Little Caesars to donate hot wings. And we gave out hot wings.
Nice.
And we basically had a roadside barbecue stand. And when people came up, we talked to them. And part of the project was we were supposed to talk to them and try to talk them to visiting the state. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay, Louisiana's got this and this and this, and I don't even remember what the hot points were at this point now. But besides like New Orleans,
yeah,
it was New Orleans heavy because that's like their jewel of their state, But we're talking about all of the awesome things in Louisiana, and at that point, I'd never even been in Louisiana. Now I've been there like 6 or 7 times, but. So Louisiana listeners, chime in on 4x4talk.com or 4x4talk at Facebook.
Facebook.com/4x4talk.
There you go. That's what it is.
Or just search 4x4talk from your browser.
Tell us the best place to get beignets in New Orleans.
Beignet? That'd be like CVS.
Beignets. No, they're like a fluffy powdered donut thing. They're pretty damn good, and they serve them hot.
You're speaking my language.
I know. Stephanie can tell you all about the beignets. We had them a couple of years ago when we were in New Orleans, right down there. But anyways. Yeah. So we did this hot wing stand, and of course we aced the whole project and this and that. So, I think it was probably 2, 3, 4 weeks after the project happened, after we did the travel fair, after everything, I get this huge package in the mail at the school because we weren't even allowed to use our own home addresses. They told us we had to mail everything to school.
So they were concerned about student safety back then. Even.
Yeah, they were. So they bring this thing down, and they had taken the letter I sent them, and they had cut out with a pair of scissors my name. Mm-hmm. And they, like a letter will do, where you type your name and then you sign your name. Mm-hmm. They had taken and scissored out that whole section, and they had scissored right through the type portion. But they had taken the signature portion. Mm-hmm. Mind you, my name's typed there. It's very obvious, Keith Codette. That is my name. Mm-hmm. And they circled my signature.
I got to say, for the record, I've never heard this much of the history on this story. So keep going. This is great.
So they circled my name which I don't know. Have you ever seen my signature? Have you ever made fun of my signature? Because it seems like everyone makes fun of my signature. I have nothing. Yeah, okay, fine. You can make me sign my signature. You want me to sign one for you? Oh
Sure.
my God, you're gonna do this. So, and there's even a story behind why my signature is what it is.
Okay.
But I can't. Not with a marker. Okay, that is my signature. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, you can read that, right?
I'll keep it.
You're keeping that?
Yeah.
So they circled my signature, and they then took a line and drew it across, and then they wrote next to my signature, which underneath, mind you, is typed.
Yeah.
It is typed. It says Keith Codette. They wrote Crutz Crody ?
Nice.
Yeah, that became a nickname for the rest of high school. Only a number of people, but yeah, Crutz Crody. And what are you doing?
Shit, I got that.
Are you trying to fake my signature?
No, I signed mine with it as well. So I'm going to keep that paper with 2 of your signatures, mine and the date.
Your signature's just as terrible as mine.
Yeah, I know. And I got some ink on your table. I'm sorry.
Oh, whatever. So yeah, it was, and after that, it was like, really, whoever looked at this could look at the signature, and I'm not saying the state of Louisiana as a whole, but whoever happened to process that didn't know they could look at the type portion and realize what my name was. So they were trying to decipher my signature. Now, my signature is really bad. You would admit my signature is unreadable.
Yes.
And the reason behind that is my signature used to be all pretty cursive. If anybody's old enough to remember cursive.
I remember having to learn that crap.
Yeah, it's long gone.
Do they even teach that anymore?
I don't think so.
Last I heard, they teach. We've got a little one over there.
Do they still teach? Hey, Kylan, do they still teach cursive?
Is it cursive or just your signature they're teaching now?
They teach cursive in elementary, but they don't teach it any further than that.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's pretty bad. So
I had to take special classes because my writing was so bad. I had to take an extra class, like 1 or 2 days a week, to learn how to write better in that.
Well, as you know, starting in the late 90s, I started to have a lot of problems with my wrists.
Yeah.
And I'm right-handed, and my right hand started to seize up and do all these crazy things. And my handwriting used to be, actually, if you look at my handwriting from when I was in high school, it was fantastic. If you look at my handwriting from when I was in college, it is terrible.
You ever see a chicken with a pencil or pen writing?
Pretty much the same thing here.
Yeah, that's what mine looks like.
Always. Okay.
Always.
And it was because my hands were so stiff. And I started signing my signature all the time because I had to do that for college all the time. Which, side note, do you know your driver's license by heart?
Yes.
Oh, why?
I don't remember why. I just know it.
I had to because when I went to college, you had to pick a student ID number, and your student ID number could either be your social security number or your driver's license number. And I, for whatever reason, said, I'll use my driver's license number.
That's smart because your social would be stupid.
I wrote my driver's license number like 5 times a day for like 4 years when I went to college.
Jeez.
And so I still go in sometimes when I have to take a business check for one of my jobs into the lumber store or whatever. And they're like, well, we need a driver's license number. I just rattle it off. And they're like, why do you know your driver's license?
There was a time I used to know all my credit and debit card numbers. My parents, not for any uncool reasons. I was entering the information so much all the time. Oh, no, I seriously, for about 6 years, remembered 3 different credit card numbers of theirs.
I don't think I've ever memorized a credit card number.
I can tell you my debit card number right now.
What is it?
I could, I said.
Oh, okay. I need the expiration date and 3-digit code in the back, please.
Well, expires 3/23. I can tell you that.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways,
you're not gonna get. I'm sorry.
So my signature, my hands were so bad, and I could barely write. I eventually, as you know, I've had 4 surgeries on my hands, and they work great again. But I could go back to my old signature, and I did there for a short time. Mm-hmm. I actually had a couple checks flagged by my bank, and they're like, this isn't your signature. And I'm like, oh my God. So I just went back to doing that same weird signature I've done for years now.
I had that happen to me too. They some new teller at the bank. I always went to the same lady. She retired. So there was another lady I went to who, was fine. But there was a new girl one day because the other lady was busy. And I signed it. It's like, this doesn't match the account. I'm like, that's how I sign everything. Well, what's on your driver's licenses? I showed her my driver's license. Says, well, this is different. Says, yeah, because that's my full name. That's not how I sign my name. They had me sign it for this. I sign it like this.
Yeah.
It was a 5-minute thing back and forth. She almost wouldn't give me the money. I went to make a deposit. And she made me sign a new signature card, and they updated all my file and everything. So, yeah. If I'm signing my full name, it's different than the way I just signed for stuff.
See, you actually sign different between your full name and like whatever?
Well, yeah. My main signature is just, I just go. But my full name, my full signature, there's a lot more of it to fit in a smaller box. So I have to write it different. I normally I sign my first name. Ones. Oh, I do.
I just signed, as you see on the signature I did, I signed a very sloppy cursive version of the letter K, and then the rest of it is basically a squiggle.
I know a guy who uses a smiley face and another guy who uses, let's just call it 2 oblong circles and a pillar.
What?
Watch me. Circle.
You can explain to me off air.
It's
I'm not really fully understanding it.
It's a very dirty way to sign a signature for a guy.
Oh,
there you go.
You know what I do?
That's like on his driver's license. That's legally how he signs.
You know what's funny is to kind of prevent credit card fraud. Mm-hmm. If I ever sign something where there's a screen, one of those electronic screens, where I have to sign my signature, I sign my regular signature, but I put a smiley face after it.
Yeah. That's kind of their idea with the same thing.
So if I ever get something from a place and they're like, oh, you signed for this in person, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I always do it. And I mean, now everybody knows, so people can steal it anyways. But
they can't match the rest of it, and only I've seen the rest of it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we're probably running way late.
Oh, we are way over, my friend.
I think we should.
I'm going to apologize to Andrew right now because we went really long with this.
He may need to cut some of this. I hope he doesn't, but yeah.
I mean, cut what's obvious, but yeah. Please leave that burp, though. That
folks, I'm going to leave you with this on this, and then I'm going to let Johnny do his sign off. Episode 56 will be our next episode. I can only think of a couple of minor things that would have to do with 56, and they're not by any means huge historic points in automotive or 4x4 history. So if you have something out there where you're like, hey, if you want to play on the number 56, we would love to hear from you. We need to hear from you pretty quickly, like on 4x4 Talk or something on Facebook. Let us know and be like, hey, for episode 56, or if you just have some off-the-wall topic, automotive history or something.
I got one.
You already do.
Yes. Could interview my mom. She gave birth to the legend that is Johnny Orange that became Wheelin.
In 1956?
She was born.
Oh, she was born.
The beginning of the legend.
Do you really want to? I mean, I'm down. Okay, totally please, if somebody out there has a better option than interviewing Johnny Orange's mom, please.
Even if you don't, we won't actually do it. Probably.
I don't know. I think it's going to happen now. But we need to know
that's funny.
What should we do for 56? Not that we don't have ideas. We have tons of ideas for shows, things we've talked about in the past, or
we'll figure something out that'll appease everybody.
Yeah, but if you're like, oh man, 56, there's got to be this. I mean, if you really want us to talk about the T56 6-speed transmission, we can do that. Although, I mean. It's not a great 4x4 transmission, but, if there's something else out there that it has the number 56 in it, or if in 1956 this happened in the 4x4 world, beyond...
I know one part of the topic we can do.
What's that?
We got to go into the NAPCO again.
56 NAPCO, maybe we should. Okay, folks.
We'll figure it out.
Give
us some suggestions. Let us know what you would like to hear. If we don't hear from you, then we're just going to call my mom and go from there. So,
John, do your thing, buddy. Hey, do you got your little list of stuff?
Oh, yeah. I did forget about that. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. And remember we had some additions last week, or did you not write them down, or what?
I don't remember the last week's ones, but I remember the other one. So, if you guys have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, feel free to join our 4x4 Talk page on Facebook. Leave us a comment. Find that with a quick search for 4x4 Talk, using numbers, not the words, or facebook.com/groups/4x4 Talk. For any more bonus content, make sure to check us out on patreon.com/Wheelin Radio. Accesses those $2 a month, gets you a lot of extra bonus content you can listen to and enjoy. If you are watching us on YouTube, or listening in this case this week, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button at the bottom of the video player. Make sure to hit subscribe so that you see content from us. And again, a huge shout out to Mr. Andrew, the producer. Thank you again, sir. Without your skills, this show would not be possible. Thank you greatly for that. Much appreciated. And as always, thanks for listening, and have a good one, everybody.
Absolutely.